بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. All praises due to Allah, and may His peace and blessings be upon His final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the last lesson, we began discussing the belief in Allah's angels, and we discussed their creation, that they are created from light, and that they are a creation that can only fulfill Allah's commands. They do not disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. They were created purely to fulfill the commands of Allah Azza wa Jal. And we mentioned that they have wings. Different angels have a different number of wings, some 2, some 3, some 4, some even more. And Allah Azza wa Jal has appointed certain angels with different duties. The last thing that I'll mention regarding the angels is the number of angels. How many angels are there? How many angels are there? The reality of this is completely unknown to us. There is no indication of how many there are. But what we do know is they have a huge number. They are large in number. No one knows their amount except Allah Azza wa Jal. How do we know this? During the Isra wal Mi'raj of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the night journey where Allah Azza wa Jal took the Prophet from Mecca to Jerusalem and then lifted him up through the heavens, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was shown Al-Bayt Al-Ma'mur. Al-Bayt Al-Ma'mur, which means the frequented house, the frequently visited house. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw this, and he asked Jibreel alayhi salam about it. And Jibreel alayhi salam said, "This is Al-Bayt Al-Ma'mur. This is Al-Bayt Al-Ma'mur, in which 70,000 angels enter and worship every day. And when they leave, they never return." So every single day, since Allah willed for this to occur, 70,000 different angels enter and worship and leave. Enter, worship and leave. Every day it's 70,000 different angels, not the same ones. So from that time till Allah wills for this to stop, this is continuous. And this is an indication that the number of angels is huge. It is so large that we cannot count them. So they are an amazing creation of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal has created them to fulfill certain tasks, and some of those tasks are to do with the universe, and some of them are to do with the humans, as we discussed previously. So this in general is our belief in the angels. The next thing that Imam Al-Muzani rahimahullah mentions is the creation of Adam alayhi salam. The creation of Adam. Imam Al-Muzani says, "Then he created Adam with his own hand and settled him in his paradise. Yet even before that, he had created him for the earth. He forbade him from a tree, though his decree had already gone forth that he would eat from it. Then he tested him with what he had forbade for him. Thereafter, he gave his enemy power over him. And he, meaning the enemy, led him astray concerning it. His eating from it was made a cause for his descent to earth. Thus, he found no way to avoid eating from it, nor any path to turn away from it. So he, Imam Al-Muzani, rahimahullah, gives us a brief description of the creation and the beginning of Adam alayhi salam's life. This is a brief overview of the beginning of Adam's creation and what caused Adam alayhi salam to be sent to earth. The first thing that Imam Al-Muzani mentions is that Allah Azza wa Jal created Adam with his own two hands. As Allah Azza wa Jal says, قال يا إبليس ما منعك أن تسجد لما خلقت بيدي. He said, Allah said, O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to that which I created with my own two hands? Here, Allah Azza wa Jal is showing or declaring to Iblis the honor of Adam alayhi salam over him. Because in another verse, Iblis says that you created me from fire, but you created him from clay. So in Iblis's mind, he believed that he was greater than Adam because he considered fire to be a greater element than the clay of the earth. But Allah Azza wa Jal is showing him that Adam is greater than you because he has the honor of being created by my own two hands. So Allah Azza wa Jal honored Adam alayhi salam. And that is, he created him with his own two hands. And the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal are true, they are real, they are hands that befit His majesty. And as we said many times regarding Allah's names and attributes, Allah's attributes are not like that of the creation. We believe in them as Allah described them without changing or altering or denying the meaning. And at the same time, we believe that Allah is different from His creation. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. So Allah's hands are a real and true attribute of Allah. It is not a metaphor. Some people deviated and they claimed that Allah's hand means His power. But this makes no sense. If this was the case, then Iblis could have responded to Allah. He could have said, well, you created me with your power too. You created me with your power. So here, obviously, it does not mean power. And then Allah said His two hands. Does it make sense for Allah to say two powers? Does Allah have two powers or one power? All of this nonsense doesn't make sense. What we believe is what Allah Azza wa Jal described for Himself and what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam described about Him. So the first thing Imam Al-Muzani mentioned was the honor that Allah bestowed upon Adam alayhi salam, and that is Allah created him with His own two hands. And there are statements from some of the Salaf that Allah Azza wa Jal did not touch anything with his hands except that he created Adam with his own two hands, and that he wrote the Injil with his own hand, and that he planted the trees of paradise with his hand. And regarding the creation of Adam, then we have just mentioned it in the Quran. And regarding the writing of the Injil, then this has come in an authentic hadith, which we will take later on, inshaAllah. As for the planting of paradise, there is a hadith regarding that. However, many of the scholars declare it to be weak, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. We'll stop there, inshaAllah, and continue after the prayer.